And hey, folks, Nick Tuckert here with the Historical Fencing Guild. We're going to come at you live with some news you can use and other secrets and most of my views. But before we get into that, I got to pay a couple bills. First and foremost, I need to put a huge shout out to IndieCD.org. Yes, the Independent Creator Directory. Not only am I a proud member, I just knocked something down. Okay, I knocked something left there. Not only am I a proud member of the Independent Creator Directory, your one-stop shop for getting all the best artists, authors, other independent creators, musicians, editors, cover designers. But it's also the good folks who have paid for my year of StreamYard. And coming up, I will be able to renew with their donation to keep broadcasting on all these fancy airways with all this fancy tech that I get to use to make your viewing better. We are also made possible by sales of the Simple Sword, the Fighting Axe, and the Simple Spear. Please realize in the next few days, because Amazon has raised their rates on the production side, I will be forced to raise my prices. It is something I am loath to do. However, I have no choice as I keep such a narrow profit margin to bring the games and books that I make to you. Because I want, in a world of gatekeepers, I want to build accessibility ramps because that's who I am. So you can support me there. Now, the third way to support me is to join the Historical Fencing Guild Patreon, where you'll get any recorded videos a week early, barring disaster. You get to input on what we're going to do, secret links where you'll be able to have access to the galleries for things like the Swash or Passe and the Cursed Sword review. These lovely interactive games we play are basically dominated by my Patreon members and a few select other folks. So doing so gives me the money that I can use to buy the gear, upgrade the facilities, do things to keep teaching people for free live. I am not a charity yet. I would love to be one. We'll have to look and see how that works. But this is also my primary employment. So please help me keep the lights on here and over there by being a member of this. Now, as you can see, I'm actually starting on time, right out on the money. I apologize for my voice. We went shopping, and because of the weather and a few other things, I am having a little bit of problems. You may hear faint noises in the background. That is because the door that I normally close when I am streaming is open to the screen door so that I have some chance of mild climate control in here. I have to do some other really interesting things in the near future to make it better on me. But we are making do with what we have. I'm going to just check to see. No, there are special exemptions to that, Johnny, and I see you in the chat. We'll get there. Actually, real quick, I'm going to greet everybody in the chat, and then I'm going to get into the news you can use today. First and foremost through the door was Thesis. Blade Thesis, happy Friday, Sword Family. Happy Friday, Thesis. I can't wait to hear what you really have to say after you've handled that Ribaldo of yours for a while. Thesis ordered a LK Chen Ribaldo, and I respect his opinion as a martial artist, so I look forward to seeing a proper review. I did see your unboxing video. It was quite nice. Please subscribe to Bladed Thesis with a 3 for the YouTube channel. And his lovely wife, Foxy. Hey, Foxy. Evening, everyone. And, of course, the impeccable Johnny Cage. Hey, Johnny. Well, not all of them are there, but still pretty cool. I give you a pass because you were just such a special person, John. Now, before we get any farther, there is some news to discuss. And yeah, I'm going to be hitting my drink like it's a Camelback And I may even be requesting pickup for a refill because it is hot where I am. Wow. Wow. Jai says, I was going to send you a video of a guy who saw a robbery going on in a store, stopped the bike, got in there with the katana he was carrying for some reason, cut one of the robbers, was taken down before that. Yikes. I kind of see that as don't play stupid games. You won't win stupid prizes. And I'm sorry if that's a little callous. We live in rough times, and I understand that there are needs for things. But you do that kind of game, you got to understand the kind of consequences. But that's Rio for you. Yeah. Also, because the weather is nice and it is a Friday night, you may hear assorted vehicles not intended for the road going by very noisily. You have my condolences. Now, let's get into some other news you can do aside from limb dismemberment in Rio, which, thank you, John. That was a message from Johnny, our South American correspondent. We appreciate any news you ever have, Johnny, and maybe we can get some more stints of having you on the show. I want to talk about, and this is a way back call, but the Frog & Co. Neck knife. Now, people know this is my second favorite type of neck knife. I still will always love the Cricut Minimalist, and this is the Bowie version that had Cthulhu tentacles on it, but got worn off, that my lovely wife gave me, that I wear everywhere. But whilst adventuring, one could do worse than have one of these. Now, why am I talking about this? I did a review on this for a while ago when it was under $30. It's a little bit more weight, but it's a very nice neck knife. It comes with a sharpener and a fire steel that you can just arc with the knife. I'm not going to make sparks shoot all over my computer desk. That would be stupid. But you can and start fires with it. It also has a moderately accurate compass and a signal mirror. All in all, not a bad package. Note, if you want to use the compass, you do need to pull the knife out of the sheath so that the metal in the knife is not interfering with the compass's reading. But if you keep it level, it gives a tolerable read. You just have to give it a minute to settle down, and it will work. It's better than nothing. The problem is this was going anywhere from 15 to, what was it? Almost 30 at one point. Well, I wanted to point this out to you, lovely folks, because with free delivery, this knife is now available for $9. That's $8.97 American. That's a good deal. I don't know how long it's going on. I may just have to order a few as gifts and giveaways, or for people who need that, because, bushcrafting is something I'm interested in. And it has a decent length hilt. The blade angle's a little different than what I am used to, because I have become a devout minimalist fanboy, and I admit it freely. And the sharpening, yeah, it happens. Let me see if I can get the edge to show, because I've actually used this quite a bit. And there we go. It's a Tonto tip, but so this is a great deal at $9. At 25, if you're going head to head, these tend to be better. I like them better. At $9, you could have two of these, nearly three, since these often go for $30. That starts to be something that builds up. So you could get enough to leave one in your car, leave one in your backpack if you're not taking it on airplanes or something. This could save your life while hiking. This is a good tool. So I really wanted to cite that. Next, because there is more news. We had the sparring video from a couple weeks ago. I got it edited and up. The Patreons got to see it, and starting today, you guys have access to both seeing me and Amanda sparring lightly, and myself and Ricky sparring. Not a lot, just a bit while we get into it. The heat is an issue as always, and we were working with new gear. Now, I did get some interesting commentary, and I'm going to skip because I want to talk a bit about this before we get into the Rivaldo. Johnny saw the sparring video, pretty cool. For somebody who couldn't close his hands more than this a couple of years ago, it's miraculous. There was some commentary, and the concern was that I wasn't wearing nearly enough armor. We weren't wearing gloves. I don't think I even had my plastron on. Now, there's a reason for this. We were just wearing masks. It was a very special set of bouts in that I wanted to spar with my wife and my brother, who both are fairly accomplished. While Ricky does not talk about it nearly enough and considers himself quite rusty, he's very competent with a blade. And with a bit of work, the rust would be gone, and he'd be quite capable. My wife, obviously, while again she's a bit rusty, she is more than formidable with most weapons. I needed people, because this is a brand new weapon set for me, to help me test it and be able to check how it handled the sword calibrations with people I trust. Normally, I would have reached out, and that's how they decided who would do the dishes that day. That is true, too. I won't give spoilers, but yes, that is how we decided to do the dishes. But we have interesting outs. Our Magic games sometimes have side bets like that are very important. Who's going to go feed the chickens? Your commander versus mine, we'll find out. But the weapons worked better than I expected. There were some plot problems that I expected, in part because I wore a mostly black Hawaiian shirt, and it was black on black on black, so it was hard for the viewers to see, for the opponent to see. I have rectified that. Give me just 1 second, because I need to mute my phone. I don't have to have this muted. Can you please get me my rapier that's pointed down with the gold guard and bring it in here? Yes. Thank you. Oh, thank you, son. Buddy. Yeah, open that door, close that door. Thank you. It's hot enough the electrical tape is trying to let go, which is fine. Yes, we do have chickens. It's worth it for the eggs. Now, you guys have seen these, and you'll notice immediately I've made some changes. This is nothing more than the good old-fashioned Rust-Oleum American Accents 2X paint and primer. I love this stuff because it has a great effect. This is about 2 coats. I have a little bit of drift because it's been a while since I've spray painted, but it scooped it up, took it quite well. This should add a little bit of protection and, more importantly, make it easier to see. Also, I noticed that the tips could be scuffed on the masks. So to prevent damaging the tips any more than necessary, I've applied electrical tape over, also adding to the visibility. This should work well. Now, I will be looking for a different color for the rest of the guards, probably, to make it easier on everybody. But the gold will be a part of the way to signify that this is mine. I'm going to have a custom grip on it, and I don't want all of them hammered on by newbies. So this will be my rapier. These are still right around $50 on Amazon, and they are proving to be very light, very safe, and very useful. I'm going to do more extensive testing, but these have become my standard. That's why I bought 6 of them. The Parry Dagger order we tried to make has not arrived, nor has it been declined. So we still have our fingers crossed, because if it goes through, I will have 12 Parry Daggers, which means 6 people will be able to parry back and forth with the Parry Daggers and these, or 6 will be able to dual dagger, which, given that it's a 17-inch blade, 17, 18-inch blade, it will be very compatible for a lot of the shorter sword and weapons. So it's a great training system. Cold Steel decided to discontinue it because it was a little to the best of my knowledge, because it's the only one that isn't like the others, being baseball bat shaped like swords with very sharp points. I'm still reaching out to try to find out why. Because I would always prefer to serve an American company. Now, I will say this. This is a Chinese import. If you want these, given the current political climate, it might not be a bad idea to get them soon. Because as politics kick up, it may be harder to get these kind of rapiers, and they're really quite nice. They aren't perfect. They're not the showiest things, but they work very well for what they're made for, and they're very light, which means I can train with them with my assorted. Right now, I have a lot of weakness, and because of the nerve damage, it's very tricky for me to build up past that. So I need very light trainers so that I can get up in shape and slowly build my strength up without enraging my nerves. That's a big deal for me. And since I've spent 20 years adapting to everyone else's limitations, it's only fair I spend time adapting and tweaking to mine. So that's been going on. This is not all the news. September 6th, or is it 9th? I'm dyslexic and dyscalculic, so I flip things around quite a bit. I will be doing a live appearance in Fowler, Indiana for LibraryCon, which will be a 4-hour free convention for authors and artists and all us assorted literary scoundrels. And it will be the 9th. I thought so. So LibraryCon will be Saturday, September 9th at, here we go, we'll just do it like this. 102 North Van Buren Avenue, Fowler, Indiana, 47944. Now, I know for a fact that 3 of the slots are full of the 6 to 8 that are available, being myself, Brian K. Morris, and Carl Witzman. The tables are going fast because it is a very small but very free event. So if you are in the central Indiana area at all, that is a great place to come. Meet me. You can buy my books from me at probably lower than they'll be on Amazon by that point. And get yourself your questions answered. Try some games. We'll talk about whatever. I do on-site art commission at my usual delightful rates. So there's that. Off topic, but speaking further into that, I have an art commission for an upcoming game. I have several games that are on the verge of coming out. And anthology of short stories that is on the verge of coming out. So a lot is coming out from my creative ends in the very near future. I'm very excited about that. I'm going to get into the comments real quick because I'm kind of talking about what's been going on, and my comments are getting things done. Because I have another bit of news, but we'll get into that. Let's see, because we left off and Johnny and I were commiserating over chickens. My brother had chickens too and used to have ducks. Ducks are messy though. It works for the eggs. Then Grandma decides it's time for one of them to work for the meat. They're halfway Xander's pets, so it's one of those where we're working on that as a concept, but not perhaps application, unless, the situation shifts. Winner, winner, chicken dinner. And we might. And let's see. Or 4 people will be able to triple wheel by putting one of them in their mouths. Oh, this is not One Piece. No, don't do that to me. No. It's a great program, but no. Well, you'll keep to 2 weapons. And maybe a backup. I have no problem with people carrying backups. Not so much winning for the chicken. Yeah, that's one way to get ahead in life. They don't put up much of a fight, Foxy. Oh, I didn't figure, but still sucks to be the chosen one. In every generation, there is a chosen one. She is the Friar. Dun, 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 dun. Yeah, Grandma don't play around. Grandmas don't. My beloved mother was taught by her grandma how to goose hunt, and that involved having a sack and some bread and knowing the right snap and flick of the wrist. Never doubt that my mother is anything but extremely hardcore. Softest, gentlest, sweetest woman. She will gut you like a drow, and she knows that she takes glee with my knowledge of that. Cluck, cluck, crud. Yep. But the other bit of news is I want to put a shout out to my neighbor who won't be watching this, but it's good positivity. His name is Lester Wooten, and he, despite having a series of problems and a dubious financial situation, was kind enough to build a delightful knife and axe target out of scrap lumber, which once the weather is cool enough during the day, or I can go out at night with the right set of knives, I will be throwing knives again. And of course, allowing the guild members and stuff to throw axes and knives as necessary. I think that would be a great activity. So we're going to be doing more of that. Assorted ranged-like objects will be going on in my backyard. And I am so very excited about it. So that means, of course, that there will be knife throwing footage. I am a little rusty. That's why I haven't written a book on throwing knives. I believe Gil Hibben wrote a delightful book. But that is in the works as well. And I will be, I have to find my orange ones because I prefer to use my beat up orange ones. And we will see. And if I can get consistent things working, I will record it. If not, I don't know how much you guys want to sit and watch me miss knives. So that is coming down the pipe. I have to arrange for another practice session. A lot of people in my circle aren't available till the fall, and I understand that both from temperature and things. So it gives me time to work on facilities and get things nicer. We will keep everybody appraised. Let's see what else has been coming out. And there's some other business in the news I wanted to discuss about what we do, and danged if I can remember what it was. Well, let's get into the comments, because there's another couple that need to be addressed. We went to the rock show today. Ooh, rock show. Was there a rock dance? Sorry, obscure movie reference. I was a little gimpy today because I did something to my hip yesterday, so I was using a trainer as my walking aid. Nothing wrong with that. I actually have to get a new foot for my favorite staff right now. Well, my light staff. But Foxy said, "Shinies, yay! Did you get anything else good?" Now, I want to go all the way back while we're waiting on that for the first impressions on the Ribaldo. I told you I'd get back to it. Thesis says first impressions of the Ribaldo are very good. Having never really handled many European blades, I can only compare it to a Jin. The balance point is different, but it is a beautiful blade. Well, the point of rotation is different. So yeah, just remember that it's going to want to behave like it was built. You can, with a very light weapon like a small sword, you can get Jin-like blade agility and blade balance out of it to an extent. With the Ribaldo, that's asking a lot out of a fairly heavy weapon. Proportionately. Now, it will work different tendons and muscles on your wrist. So please be very gentle. Whenever you are going from one style to another of gear or weaponry, ease yourself into it because you may not know where the hot spots are. I guess I can't do that. And by finding those carefully, you can build up and you won't injure yourself finding them. We have to be careful. We also have to hydrate. I want you guys to stay hydrated and really be watchful with the sun and the temperatures. A lot of very strange things have been going on climate and weather-wise lately. So please be careful. Now I'm going to go all the way back. Oh, he bought me 2 bits of amber-colored opal. Oh, that's delightful, Foxy. Eagle-eyed viewers may have noticed my sword cane trainer in the background of my unboxing video. That is wonderful, and I'm wondering where mine is. But that is wonderful, and that is delightful. I really can't wait to see you drilling with these weapons and working towards that, because that's what we do. We are now in go time. It may be waiting till it's dark and cool and having to work around the lighting situation, but this is what we do. And this is how we train to get better and feel better. Now, it will help the overall physicality to be able to do this, but you have to ease it in. Even as you're going, start slow. You always want to build towards consistency. I was watching a video today and we're talking about how Americans especially are hung up on the intensity of an experience, not the consistency. And I do think we need to stop and catch ourselves, because it's very exciting to learn a new technique or try a new weapon or fight somebody new. But at the end of the day, mastery is having a complete understanding of the strengths, weaknesses, and applications of the basic techniques. Because there will always be trick shots and sneaky little things you can do. But if your timing, your range, your calibration, your footwork in general aren't up to par, aren't up to the level they need to be, all the tricks in the world won't matter. And in the end, the better basic training will always hold out over the tricks. Let's see. I'm sure people noticed that I wasn't all that comfortable in the video, but I'm working to be in front of the camera more. I got myself a webcam last week, and I'm going to try to get some cutting footage. That is beautiful. Get that up there. Send me a link so I can promote it around, because that's something people love to see. Now, there may be some very tongue-in-cheek cutting videos in the near future from my end as well. I am plotting some shenanigans. I have never done a cutting video, certainly not on this channel. So it's something that I guess I need to do. And we're going to get there, and we're going to give it a shot. But you're doing great. Just ease into it, Thesis. And I'm going to tell you, whenever you find yourself approached by an idea, get yourself a notebook, write it down. You make beautiful notebooks. Make yourself a notebook that you can write it down in. And from that, you can feel and learn what fits the curriculum. Because I had a conversation with somebody on a totally different topic that feeds into what we do. Been telling them for years. Yes, Foxy is right. The annoying thing about our wives in general is they have this habit of being right. It can be quite bothersome, but consider it a blessing. Yeah, you tell him. Everybody's jumping on you. They want to see the book of Thesis. One thing I can say is the Ribaldo is very sharp. Foxy took some expired coupons while I held the sword, and with light pressure sliced right through them. Excellent. That's actually very refreshing to hear a sword company putting out a sharp sword that they ship that is actually sharp. That is a remarkably rare thing. Now, that's fine. If we can just get a sword company or two to make me a few of these at this length with a belt guard like this, perhaps a touch bigger, but I won't complain. Then, dear viewers, I will be a happy man. Make me a tactical grade sharp one of these. Something that I can actually use. Make me trainers that match. Make it and take my money. Dang it. I'm annoyed. I also have to do something I don't want to do, so I'm going to do it live. You see, this has come loose, which means my lovely grip tape has to come off. And while we're talking, I might as well just break down and cut this off so that I can take my lovely throwing axe to my new target, and I can set about doing the lovely throwing of said axe. And I've been putting it off because I love the way that worked, but now I can baton it back on and tighten it up a bit, which will make this much better, and I may be able to take my little mouse hawk for a spin. This would make me very happy. So my little mouse hawk might go out and play, maybe even tonight. And if not, I will either have to purchase a new handle, or I may just try to make a new handle. I'm very enamored with this little weapon. It works well. It should. And I like the way it feels. So, yeah. I also took an old shirt and used it to wipe away the packing oil. I know how to clean sharp blades, and still the edge cut through 3 layers of the shirt. Well, then, one, I'm glad you're being cautious, because that is oh, the sound was very amusing. Oh, yes, that. See, you should have recorded that. But now be sure to re-oil that to protect it, or use a good wax to protect that blade, because that quality of blade can take rust so easy, and you don't want that. Look up how to maintain it, talk to them, and do everything they say. Because a beautiful weapon like that deserves every kind. You have to respect the weapon, folks. But it would have gotten you likes. Maybe you can reshoot it with Foxy fully dressed. He has the sword cleaning and oiling kit. Delightful. I am so glad to hear that. I've lost a couple good weapons because little kids have reached in and touched them. And those were trainers when it wasn't sharp. We have to respect the weaponry. And that's why I was avoiding the unboxing vid, LOL. Yeah, you seem to, it must be very hot where you are, Foxy, because it seems like you are having some wardrobe deficiencies. I can't blame you. I'm wearing my cursed camouflage shorts of doom, so don't worry about it. But you may hear some thumping. That's the little man running up and down the hallway. He's very excited because my brother Ricky is actually over. He's hanging out with Amanda while I do this program. But I do not want to cut this one short. I could have recorded the sound, but I think you should just give it another try. If you know what's going to happen, that'll make it a little easier, and just be safe with it. A sharp should always be respected for what they are. And Foxy says she has a tendency to run very warm, as in wore tank tops a good part of the winter. That makes sense. I understand that. But yes, now all wardrobe shenanigans aside, what kind of drilling are you guys looking at? What kind of techniques are you studying? I know Cindy, who hasn't made it today, but a lot of people are very busy right now this time of year. Folks are trying new things. So we're just wondering if anybody in the chat is. Otherwise, we may have to start planning the next week's video. Now, I'm going to be going into a busy run. So I don't know if you guys would rather do something like see if you could do a better sword meme review, find funny sword memes out there and get them out. Or, what's this? Summer can be quite unpleasant, but the issue is slowly seeming to resolve. Is it getting cooler where you are? Is it, are you getting, a better environment like AC or something? I'm interested in how that's working. And what kind of drilling are you doing, Foxy? How's that going? Because you got some different weaponry, and I'd like a bit of a long-term catch-up if you guys don't mind. Because we've got so much going on, and I have so much I need to be doing. I would love to hear just how things are. A medication put my into overdrive. I see. Now that is a common problem. One of my medications actually makes me much warmer than I used to be, which is not endearing during this particular heat wave, but it's worth it for the med. So, what am I working on? Physically, I just want to get back into shape. I'm not trying to pick up new techniques right now. I'm just going back over the basics time and time again. I want to get knife throwing and axe throwing. I might do some light spear work. I would love to have a nice short spear to chuck, but I haven't found a good short spear that's in my price range. I'll have to look around for that. And a lot of it's just upgrading. I need to set a proper Pella up. I have some ideas that may require old tires. just a lot of work is going on outside to make things more viable. Let's see. Let's see. I'm still trying to convince her into being a guest on the show and can talk about her journey into martial arts and figuring out what weapon suits her as such. That would be fascinating. I would love to hear it. I would also love to see if you could get Kitty. I know Paris would never appear live on the show due to her anxiety, which I respect. But anybody could hide behind an image. Like if I shut my camera off, right? You see the lovely image of my old author picture, which frankly, I love that picture. It's very Obi-Wan. It's quite dashing. Anyway, hiding behind an image or even a like VTuber persona would be more than fine to have these kinds of discussions. And that applies for anybody. We live in an era where there can be a comfortable level of safe anonymity for those who are working in a position of either for work they can't really be out about this sort of thing, or other type arrangements. You can put that sort of thing out, and being able to say your piece civilly, because I do.
That chip is like a heart.
Oh, okay. Xander found a chip that's shaped like a heart. I am still streaming, buddy. But that's okay. Thank you for letting me know. I understand that was very important to you. Anyhow, Foxy, it's only taken 6 to 7 months to start to resolve being off it. I understand. You need to lose weight again. Thesis's dad has been in and out of the hospital with complicated surgery, so we've been eating a lot of junk and gained weight. Well, that happens. It may be a situation where you can prepare travel food ahead of time that might be available. Sometimes you can do that. And other than that, sometimes you just gain weight because of stress. Remember, cortisol causes weight gain. And until the stress dials down, it's very difficult to lose weight. You don't have to be on camera, love. Last 2 times I've been on is only audio only. And you're a stress gainer. That happens. Now, John makes a point of, Nick, why are you hiding behind that flesh mecha? Show us your brain and nervous system that is you. Am I the hardware or am I the software? That is an interesting question. Frankly, I hope I'm the software and somehow it preserves as time and energy progress. But this is the only form I currently have, and it is deeply in need of some hardware upgrades. So that's part of what I'm trying to do. I mean, I've got discoloration all over the place. The water retention system is all wrong. It's just a mess. But it's getting a little better. And the more we work at it, the better it gets. That being said, exercise, especially controlled, reasonable exercise, is a great way to deal with that. I have that good Scottish ancestry that keeps me plump even when the English are attacking. Absolutely. And I fully understand that too. This beard used to be bright red. The trick is just do what you can, okay? Because anything you do, you're lapping the you that is on the couch. And that's what we're looking for. Ways to lap the you that's on the couch. That's why, okay, let's break out some books here. Foxy, you need to start studying the simple spear. It would offset the opposite of the weapons you've trained in and can be done with very light gear. You already have a broomstick in the house. And when I say this, guys, if you want to practice spear techniques. Let's talk about that for a second. You do not need a spearhead, contact, or full weight. Okay? Many cheap brooms that you get that unscrew are that hollow cord junk that is no good for sparring, but it will give you the reach to start just slowly building up the weight. If you need a target, you can use exactly the same kind of techniques that we talked about quite a while ago about point control developing. So you could take your spear, which is just a cheap dollar store broom. You've unscrewed the handle or don't unscrew it, and hang a pool, a parking garage ball, or a wiffle ball, or a pop can for a moment or two. It won't last long, but it's better than nothing. From a string, and just poke it. A little bottle like these. These are my emergency apple juice bottles. When my blood sugar gets low, I have a few of these. They're full of apple juice. I was going somewhere, and I knew I'd have to take my pill before I got there, so I used it as a little tiny pocket canteen, just enough to get a pill down. Drill a hole in the top, tie a knot, run a rope through, and hang it, and just poke the tar out of it with whatever trainer you're using. Sword trainers, plastic trainers, PVC. It doesn't matter what you use. It matters that you use it. So far, though, I haven't burned myself from the sun. Knocking on wood. That is beautiful, and I keep that up. Let's not burn ourselves. Exercise is great. I love getting kicked in the shin after the play is halted. I really do. I don't know if you wear cleats, Johnny, but I'm not a violent man, but when people do shady stuff like that, it tempts me to contemplate reprisal. I'm very protective of my people. But, yeah. Thesis says, I'd rather get kicked in the shin than trip on a stair and break my bum again. See, everyone loves a good shin tackle. Oh, God, I hate shin tackles. Oh. I have a feeling that Johnny's also a fair bit younger than we. 25 last Saturday. Yes, he is. But I'm going to say this. Johnny has that artistic potential to be a true tour de force if he can get his stuff out there, and especially if he gets into sequentials. He's just that good. His pieces artistically are phenomenal, and they have a story, and there is depth beyond just simple skill. He does storytelling. And I really hope that he can continue down that journey. A couple of LK Chen videos, he has plastic bottles hanging from the ceiling in his Quoon doing point. Yeah, it doesn't have to be expensive. Well, happy birthday. Also, I feel old. Don't feel old. Don't feel old. You've survived. Be proud. I earned this gray hair, and that my wife put a lot of effort to put most of it here. Got my new cleats today. They're pretty. The right foot is a birthday present to myself. The left one is my graduation gift to myself. You deserve it, and you deserve a lot better than you're getting, Johnny. You deserve a lot more affection and support than I think you're getting. Indeed, Feliz Aniversario, muy amigo. Anyway, thank you, John. And they say that you're old as you feel. Yesterday, I felt kind of dead. It happens. Thank you, everybody. Obrigado. Okay? And you're more than welcome. I mean it. I do not believe in lying whenever possible. And I certainly won't inflate somebody's ego unless I think they really deserve it. And Johnny really deserves it. Um, it's cool to see the span of people we have access to, even here, even just doing the show, because with the book out there, with videos like this, I can engage and I can help people who are interested. Portuguese is interesting, especially if you have decent experience in Spanish first. I can only imagine. I have a horrible time with Romance languages because I studied Latin, and while my conscious mind has forgotten Latin largely, except for some key situational things, my unconscious mind embraced it, and everything sounds like Latin that isn't quite processing. But it's important that we keep trucking. Now, I was thinking of doing an Ask Me Anything episode, if that's something you guys would be interested in. The two languages are like the evil twin of each other, aren't they? Yes. Yes. Having heard both, they certainly are. I find it fascinating. Now, languages are very much one of my weak points. And given that I'm dyslexic and dyscalculic, it's a miracle I know English as well as I do, especially how broken and bizarre a language English is when you start studying such things. But it really is an adventure here. I'm trying to figure out what I am hearing. Anyway, I guess I will find out later. That's not at all ominous. But I took 2 years of Spanish when I was younger and did very well. Took 2 years of German and not so well. I took 1 year of Latin and 2.5 years of Japanese, a single semester of French that they would not let me drop. And I have picked up some German and some Vietnamese from family members, some Welsh from friends occasionally. A lot of those languages, if I listen to sideways, I can understand more than I should be able to, but I can't explain why. But it is fascinating. And looking into the manuals and stuff, it is rather intriguing how language influences how we train. And most of what I know in other languages isn't terribly polite. That's one of the first things anyone learns, and to ask where the bathroom is. One moment. Sorry about that. Something is blooming right now, and we had a long dry spell. The rain hit, and it is really just wreaking havoc on my general face. Currently working on Mandarin and Spanish on different language apps. Have friends all over the world, so I know a few words in most languages. That's all. That's wonderful. Same. Y'all seen it. Uh, and that's okay, Johnny. I rely on your ability to have specific eloquence. I find it delightful. And knowing Mandarin or Cantonese would probably be a very useful thing. That I have a question, thesis. Which language are most of the Chinese martial arts manuals written in? Because unfortunately, because it is go. Oh, it's like Japanese. It's not pictographic, but it's close. It's close to that. Because it's a character-based language. It's usually I can spot the difference between Chinese and Japanese, but certainly towards Korean, because Korean has all the loops. Um, what language do you find most of the martial arts manuals are written in, that you've encountered? Because I'm curious. I assume you're studying Mandarin as part of your studies in general, but it is something interesting. Latin and Italian. I've picked up some Italian from my Latin studies, and it's very difficult because uh, the Italian was not quite as organized and solidified as it is now at that period. And let's see, Johnny says, learn English from watching CM Punk cutting people down to size. It's only half my fault I turned out this way. Remind me to thank CM Punk, because without his wonderful efforts, both as a wonderful entertainer, I love CM Punk as a wrestler. But yeah, no, I don't fault that. I can, while I cannot speak Spanish, I can often understand quite a bit of Spanish because I used to watch a lot of Spanish television that was or wasn't subtitled. Most of the surviving manuals are in neither, but closer to Mandarin. Let's see. Cantonese is relatively new as far as languages go, but the other characters are the same either way. But interesting to know because, like I said, the because I know of enough Japanese. It's so far gone; it's not even funny. That the Chinese elements, of the kanji, I picked up pieces. So I have little pieces of language that just float around my brain, and they slam into my verbiage. And every once in a while, I will drop a language. Uh, let's see. I know. I think most Indian. I can spot Korean. I can spot Japanese and Chinese. I haven't seen much Vietnamese nor Thai. After all that backstage drama I told you about a year ago, Punk is only now coming back to TV June. Well, it may be late, but I'm glad he's coming back. That's all I can say on that front. But it looks like we're winding down. So what I'm going to say is I think that next week I will be doing an Ask Me Anything unless something significant comes up, like I get a hold of a new product or there's something earth-changing in the armoring field. That's the difference between traditional and simplified Chinese that you see in different media. Most of the manuals are old enough they use traditional ice. That makes sense to me. That really does. I that makes sense, and I thank you for it. But the problem, oh God, I miss the VCD days. I really do. I wish I had gotten more from Sword Sage, who has some new videos up I have to check out. I also have to check out what Skullgrim's up to. To the people who asked me, I can't remember who it was. Yes, I am still not watching Shad after his defense of artificial intelligence as art video, because he put out blatant fallacies, and I will not. I can't support that. Sorry. Go out. I have this funny thing where I will tolerate the actions of a lot of people I disagree with, unless it directly harms or threatens the lives or livelihoods of people I know. So it's I can't, guys. I'm sorry on that. But I do get more than enough entertainment from Scala Gladiatoria and Scala Grim, and I haven't seen anything by Lindy Page in a while, but certainly Sword's Age. That my sword needs are fairly well filled, and whatever it isn't, I gladly provide here. Thesis goes on to say, I prefer traditional. The simplified just don't feel right to me, and I respect that. But yeah, I think unless something interesting comes out, it will be an Ask Me Anything video next week. So I want you guys to seriously put thought. Don't there are opportunities to be kind of problematic, of course, but most of you I can trust not to be unnecessarily problematic because I want to be able to talk and confer with you guys extensively. There will be random recorded videos as weather, time, and my general health allow, because they are as I can get them up. But I have those in the works, and they are going to be happening. If any are things I can be like, and this is how you do X, Y, or Z, let me know. The other thing is, I want this channel to serve you. So tell me what content you are looking for, either here or, of course, as a Patreon member. I am back in the saddle, keeping up pretty well with my Patreon posts, which I'm proud of. It's difficult for me. And we are moving forward, and I'm happy for that. With getting to the more nighttime practices, and we're going to see how that goes. If you have any other questions or comments, please hit me up. Now, guys, with all that being said, there will be some that I need to do. There are a couple topics I need to do that I will record via StreamYard, so it will be set up like this, but it will not be live, and that will be done because there are a few things I need to discuss that aren't that need to be discussed without me responding directly to chat and possibly losing my point of discussion. So, because I was requested to do some fairly serious commentary, so I will be doing that. Not sure when, but it's coming. With that, guys, I will be back here next Friday night for another Historical Fencing Guild live stream. September 9th, I will be at Benton County Public Library doing a demo. And every Monday, Wednesday, and Friday, I am on my other channel, the Nicholas Talker channel, doing Never Mind the Furthermore, my lovely program for building up artists and authors and other people and promoting folks and just general positivity. You can see me in all those places. There should be an art program this weekend. We have a fairly busy Saturday, so it will be fairly early if it happens. If not, I'll have to put it off to Sunday. That happens too. See you next week, and I'll leave out the boxers or briefs questions. You know what? If that's what floats your boat in conversation, I will have an answer. It may not be a clear or informative answer, but I can handle just about any question you guys throw at me. It's just there are some things that I will be able, that will have more merit or use. So feel free to address that, especially as you guys have gotten to know me some more. I want to be of use and service. YouTube.com/Nicholas Talker. Yes, at Nicholas Talker, that's where you can find my live streams. Commando, assert your dominance. I will tell you no because I need support. The answer is yes. The answer is 42. Do you understand the question? With that, guys, please keep your eyes open. There's a whole lot going on in the world, both locally and abroad. It's good for you to pay attention. Do your drills because you never know when you'll need your skills. Be kind to yourself and each other. And as always, friends, thank you for supporting the local Swordmaster. I will see you next week. I love you. Toodles.